I would recommend this, highly recommend it. I think even for me at first it was a little confusing, like, oh, is this only if you already have diabetes? When these first came out, it was a little confusing. I remember doing some of the research and it was a little unclear because it talks about you needing a prescription. And I guess I'll pause there related to the prescription. So yes, you need a prescription, but you're able to do it through telehealth within whatever company you choose. So again, I chose NutriSense. There are other companies out there. NutriSense has telehealth available that, yes, after you go through a questionnaire, then you can get the prescription for the continuous glucose monitor. But I think in the last 3 to 6 months, overall, I think the communication about who this is for has gotten much better, meaning you do not have to already have diabetes to use a continuous glucose monitor. In fact, I think that's where the beauty lies, because I think the more people in the general public who are using it, we have the potential to um, avoid, because when we know better, especially the way you learn it in this, when we know better, we do better. And if more of us have the ability to stave off type 2 diabetes, just imagine the absolute impact that would mean on our healthcare system overall, on physicians, on us as individuals. So I think where the massive opportunity as a country, as a world, is for catching it in real time or ahead of the game, or even when we're young, so that we can course correct and establish better behaviors, so that we don't head in that direction. Then separate from society, from a society perspective and an overall healthcare perspective, just as an individual, I can't imagine who wouldn't benefit from this. I guess again, I'm speaking as a layperson. I'm no expert on this, but maybe, like, just as I'm thinking off the top of my head, maybe if you're someone who is super obsessive, and this would just cause you to obsess more, you got to be honest with yourself about that, right? That maybe this wouldn't be the best kind of device. Or maybe people who have eating disorders and again, I'm no expert in any of that, but if it would cause you to use the information to rationalize or justify, or maybe again make you more obsessive about food or no food or whatever the case is, that could be a place where it maybe wouldn't be the right choice. But my experience has been just so incredible that I could see this for everyone. And I guess that's what I'm hoping for in terms of cost. Because again, cost was a barrier for me that I was able to, I ended up justifying by scrapping together some money from gifts. But I guess I'm hoping that the more awareness overall there becomes about this, and maybe the more generalized use, that the pricing can come down. And that more options would be available. I'm not sure how this plays out in terms of insurance across the board if you don't already have type 2 diabetes, but you would think the insurers, who have to pay for all the drugs that people have to go on once they have type 2 diabetes and all the procedures that have to be done when your body starts to break down from type 2 diabetes, you would think that the insurers would think it's a really good idea to get these into healthy people earlier, so that they can avoid the back end costs, which I would think would be way more expensive than the front end cost of doing this. But generally speaking, I'm really hopeful that the more that these are used in the general public, that the pricing, even if insurance isn't an option, that it's more accessible from a price point perspective. And you can already, they have it set up where if you are doing longer use. So I did it the most expensive way, unfortunately. I did it for the 1 month, which is the most expensive way to do it. But I wasn't ready to commit to something beyond that. I wanted to make sure the information and the data was going to be useful to me. I had heard, through different physicians that have used these, that generally speaking, you can glean so much information from just a month that it can have a lasting impact on your behaviors. And so that's for all those reasons, I chose the 1 month. And again, now I'm going to commit to a second month. But they already have it set up where if you're going to do longer stints, the pricing comes down. So I'm just hoping that over time, that the more this gets more generally used, that this is going to be way more accessible for everybody, because I know that that's currently a barrier.